Welcome back. Today we're going to be implementing an ESLint Axon agent. So I've scaffolded a small TypeScript project here, and this is going to serve as our workspace for today. Currently it doesn't have any bugs in it, it's just completely fresh out of the box. So to show you where we're at, I'll run the final agent that we'll be building today. So I'll just give it the audit script or the audit prompt. And it's going to go over the project and check the baseline state to see how good it is. Okay, perfect. So it's found it's ungoverned, which basically means that it's not yet been set up. So this is essentially what we're going to be building today. Okay, so to get started, I'll go ahead and init a new project. It's going to spawn us a new Axon agent folder. I'll go and get rid of the boilerplate that we don't need. So we're just left with our source, prompt, and boot.view. So the boot.view is going to define the base context of the agent. This is where we're going to give it its identity, tell it any things that it needs to abide by and stuff like that. So instead of me manually typing everything, I'm going to get Barry to do it. He's already been he already has the reference implementation. So let me just tell it to write this. Okay, so what we've got is essentially we need to define the identity of the agent so it knows exactly what its role is. We need to also define exactly what workflow it should go in. Our prompts will assume that the agent already knows ESLint, or the model underneath already knows ESLint. We're just sort of going to be giving the agent a structured workflow that it should be operating under. So let's go and get the identity scaffolded. Just wait while the agent does that. Cool, so we've got our new component in here. So essentially what we're just telling the agent is they should always abide by the ESLint mentality. It's not trying to be a conversational agent, it's not trying to go and do anything that it hasn't been told to do, it's specifically defining that it's this task. So let's get the rest of this written in there. So a lot of it is just defining the prompts in these view files here. There we go, it's gone too far with that. So yeah, we're telling it the life cycle, specifically the different states that an ESLint project could go in. Because the one thing I found when trying to build this is you don't want it to just add a really strict ESLint rule set that's going to immediately give you thousands of errors. You need to slowly get into stricter and stricter ESLint rules. So that's essentially what we're defining here in this part of the prompt, right? So if we go here now, of course everything's not throwing us errors now, so we should be able to boot this guy up. Let me just check this. Right, axon.config. So what we're going to do is just add in codecs as the engine, and we're going to also give it the FS tools as well, just to make life a bit easier. So let's go and boot this agent up, and we'll just see what it's doing right now. So actually, let me move into my project folder, and then I'll do it. Okay, so hey, let's just see what it sort of comes back with right now. It should already have the base identity, it should know who it is, what it's doing. Right, it's going off and it's auditing the repo to begin with, and that's exactly what we defined in the workflows. Because again, it's not embodying a conversational agent, it's just giving us the audit. So it did do the audit, but because it's unclear about what I've actually asked the agent to do, it doesn't know what to do when I say hello. So it kind of did the audit, it kind of didn't. And that's where I want to bring in what would be called a script in any other framework, but here we just call it prompts. Add audit.view. So anything that's top level in the prompts folder is going to show up in our prompts palette here. So let me just restart this. So now what we can do, let me just look at the audit file. What we can do here is render this into the context window. So all it's doing is giving it some output format. You know, this is essentially us telling the agent this is the task that you want to do now. It already, of course, has its identity. It knows everything that it needs to know. So let's go and fire this off. So it should be a lot stronger this time because it's got explicit direction on when to start rather than just trying to do the right thing in a conversational context. Perfect. So now we've got our actual output format looking nice. So I can very quickly run this in a background terminal and then come back and just quickly scan of where we're at. So now we've got the agent built out. This is pretty much it. We don't need to define any custom tools for this particular agent. We could give it some tools to make some of this a bit quicker and easier to access. You know, those can be future improvements, but for now, just given the prompts is good enough. So let's tell it to actually get it past the ungoverned stage and see if we hit any errors. Okay, so bootstrap this repo. Let's get it working through that and get our ESLint set up on that repo. So we should see how add ESLint in here. There we go. It's looking good. It's looking good. Yeah, so we're looking good. Let's introduce a type error. So let's do const a is a number, and then we'll give that a string here. So we don't have any specific prompts for it to go and fix. Audit and fix, so we can just tell it to audit for now. Yeah, it removed it. I guess that's fine. It was unused. Perfect. So yeah, that's essentially it. What we can do now is, now we've got our agent, let's actually publish it on the registry. I'll go and put the correct name in here, so I'll put it under my namespace. And then let's go to linter and just shove that on the registry. There we go. So now we should see our agent on here. So we've got Cody linter, perfect. Okay, so that was just a showcase of how we get actually useful agents built, how we can actually start automating parts of our workflow. So if you've got any questions, there's a Discord link down below, you'll find me there. See you next time.